Hi, my name is Mike Mueller
And Mike,
from Los Angeles, California. Always proud to be gay. I don't know if I necessarily understood what gay was. I mean, when I was growing up, I grew up in Missouri, in the Ozarks, in the Midwest. So I really didn't know the word. And I just knew that I was different, but I didn't know what that translated. So I just thought everybody had these same feelings I did. I just thought it was normal, to be honest. I didn't really come out until I went away to college, undergrad. And I went away early to college, so I was very young. I was only 15 when I went to undergrad. And so it was there where I had more experiences with men and women so that I could understand who I was and what I liked. And I think that's when I came out. It wasn't easy because it's really something, don't ask, don't tell. You just didn't talk about it. So I really didn't come out to, per se, my family until I was really in my early 30s, because I moved to Los Angeles, and it's hard when you living your life out here, when you go home for holiday or something and you just wanted to have a nice vacation with your family. You didn't want to deal with something that was so heavy. So it really took me a long time just to bring them in on it. But I was so glad that I did, because then they were being included in the people in my life, where before I was excluding them from it. And that's not a good relationship to have with your parents. Sure. I was, after undergrad, I went to med school. So I was doing an oncology rotation in MD Anderson Hospital. And in that rotation was the beginning, the very beginning of the AIDS crisis. So young men were coming in to the hospital. We were calling it gay cancer. We didn't know if it was airborne or how one contracted what was going on with them. We didn't even call it a disease. We had no idea. And so here I am, 22, 21, 22 years old, gay, who's had sex with men. And I was there, gowned up in a hazmat suit, walking into these rooms to these poor young men who were dying horribly. And nobody understood what it was. Their families were afraid to come into the room. People, nurses, other doctors were nervous about coming in because people just didn't understand then what it was that we were dealing with. And so here as a young man, I'm witnessing this thinking, am I next? Am I going to be the next person laying in that bed? And it was a horrible time. I feel that I was lucky compared to people who knew so many people. I was in school so much that I really wasn't living a gay life or out and about. I was so young, so I didn't have those relationships with people. I only saw them as patients or people who passed in that concept. So it wasn't until I moved to Los Angeles later in the 80s that I started making friends with gay people and buddies, and then that's probably when I started recognizing people who were actually dying. And so I don't want to say I was fortunate enough not to have so many close friends die, because I know so many people who have, but my circle was so little that I was fortunate enough only to bear that a handful of times, which is 4 or 5 more people than one should, So it was a terrible time. So I mentioned I went to med school, but I really wanted to always be an architect. So after med school, I enrolled in a master's program to get my master's in architectural design. So I became an architect, not a doctor. And in that, I'm in Los Angeles, and I always had an affinity towards seniors. I always thought I would be in geriatric medicine, but now as an architect, what could I do for seniors? And there was nothing being done on senior services in the way of affordable housing in this country for LGBT seniors. So a group of us started what we called then the Gay, Lesbian, Elderly Housing, which is Triangle Square, which is now part of the LGBT LA Center here in Los Angeles. And we started the first affordable housing, housing 115 seniors in the most beautiful building and here in Los Angeles. And so I'm very proud that I was one of the founders of that. And from there, we're now currently building another affordable housing for seniors and teen housing for runaway teens, teens who have been kicked out of their house. So housing for me as an architect is so vital. It gives a place of security, a place of safety. It gives the people a place of home so that they can build their lives. And that is the most thing I'm proud of and probably what I'm most noted for. If I was giving a talk to someone young coming up in the gay community and they wanted to be more involved, I would say that you take the time, visit your local center that's in your center, your community, in your city, and there are so many aspects of people that you could get involved with, from trans community to seniors to runaway teens to the medical clinic as a volunteer, doing tours, helping guide teachers and professors who are talking about LGBT issues. There's so many aspects that you could get involved in, and I would just suggest to them that get involved in your community. Find something that is really your core, something that you're passionate about, and see what you can do to help people who are marginalized within your own community. Well, I believe that everybody has a right to marry. Didn't understand the don't ask, don't tell. I know that was a process to get to where we are today. But it's fundamentally to be able to partner, to marry with someone that you love, to share your life with. I have kids, so it's very vital for me to be able to have that choice to marry. Now, marriage is not for everybody, but we should be able to have the basic right to marry. So I'm very excited, and I did a lot of fundraising for that issue, especially here in Los Angeles when we had Prop 8 voting against marriage. So I was very opponent of bringing it to our city, and I'm just so excited that now that we're able to live.
Perfect. Thank you.